Hey guys, welcome to another Train Sim World 3 video. Today we're going to take a look at another sort of mod showcase. Some mods that I've found recently. A lot of them aren't terribly new. Those of you up on the scene with Train Sim World mods, you most likely have seen some of these. But some did come out very recently. But these are just a small selection I've chosen to take a look at for the month of March 2023. So the first of which is actually two for the BNSF SD70 ACe, which released by Dovetail not too long ago, like a week or two ago, in a pretty crappy state. It had the wrong numbers because it was essentially a Thunder cab, which would not have been used or lead any trains, you know, due to just how loud they were and dangerous for the crews to operate. And so, as usual, someone has taken it upon themselves to mod these things. Now, they weren't very great by default. Not one bit. But someone has taken it upon themselves to fix some things. One of which is the number range. So we've now got a way more appropriate number range from 8400 to 8499. So we've got 8406 right here in front of us. Let's see, what else? The headlight has been adjusted a tad, so it doesn't look as funky as it initially did. It's kind of in a more appropriate position, the headlight there on the nose, the main headlights. And as well as fix the lighting, so when it's casting light now, it doesn't kind of shine on the nose where you can see it from inside the cab, which a lot of the locomotives have an issue with that in Train Sim World, sadly. As well as adding a non-functional PTC screen. Now, I know a lot of you guys, a lot of you North American, you know, train sim fans and train fans like PTC. I can tell you, crews, real hoggers, do not like PTC, but it's here anyway. This person has added a PTC screen, which is pretty neat. It does not work, as you can see here. I'll try and click some of the buttons. It does absolutely nothing, but it's there. And it looks a bit more appropriate because it would be a bit more modern. The second thing, and that mod, by the way, is a person named Space that loaded this very recently, I think today actually, on the website that I will link down below, where you can go and find all these mods. And as usual, this, why did I just say mods? Like I'm from Boston. Mads in the ad. Mods that you can go and find on this website, which I will link below, as always, each and every one where you can go and find it. And of course, credit where credit's due to whoever created this. They go by the name of Space on the website there, and it's you know, it's nice. It makes this thing, if you have it or if you want to buy it and you're on PC, because again, consoles cannot use mods, you know, unless you know some sort of witchcraft. So it's pretty much PC only, so if you're thinking about getting it or you want to get it and make it a bit more appropriate, then bam, here you go. So second to this, kind of a twofer, is the sounds. So when I took a look at this thing in its default state a week or so ago, the sounds were so bad. And I was like, man, these sounds are bad. And they were really bad. I didn't remember them being that bad from the Sherman Hill SD70 ACe, but I had forgotten, as someone pointed out to me via comment on YouTube, thank you very much by the way, that I had a mod in there from a one Griggs and Lunamoon, aka Yuri, which, you know, have modded several nice North American things over the years. So the sound mods, this is a twofer, different mod, number range, PTC deal, that's a mod from someone named Space, and then the sound mod is Griggs and Lunamoon, aka Yuri, for the sound. So it's a lot more appropriate SD70 ACe sounds with the big chungus in here. So we'll go ahead and notch this thing up a bit here. We got the windows open. So as you can tell now, it's in low idle. I'm going to go ahead and throw it forward. You should be able to hear it. I'm going to turn the sound up a little bit. So we should get a high idle. Go ahead and open the door too. So this son of a biscuit sounds a lot more appropriate. Now they do have nicknames as far as vacuum cleaners, because when they're really chugging, they do kind of resemble the sound of a vacuum cleaner, interestingly enough. So that's just high idle right there. So I have already charged up the brakes. We're going to give it one notch. We're going to drop the loco brake. We're just going to listen to this thing here for a minute. Go ahead and start dropping them off. Start building that effort. What would be cool about this PTC screen, though, so I guess it's just a model that was added. It'd be neat if there was at least just a screen, you know, that displayed static elements or whatever, even if it wasn't animated. Alright, let's go ahead and dump the ND all the way. We're creeping. There goes the southbound. We're going to have to let this son of a biscuit pass, so I am going to magically fast forward time real quick. Alright, it would appear the southbound's coming to a stop, so we shouldn't have too much mixed soundage. But anyway, let's just listen to this thing here. We'll go ahead and throw another notch down. That sounds really nice. For Train Sim World, those are really nice sounds. Now, this is not the first time I've showcased the SD70 Ace E sounds. They did sounds for the Sherman Hill SD70 Ace E almost immediately after Sherman Hill came out, and just made it sound a lot more appropriate. I don't know if they were touched up at all, but it basically makes the sound mod work with the BNSF Ace. And you can hear that loud rumble these things have. It's like it's more of a deep rumble compared to like a Gevo chugging. Different kind of whoomp. Give it notch 3. And of course the sounds are occlusive inside and out. Give her notch 4. Make sure I'm on 4 there. We are. Yay. She's coming alive. Notch 5. There we go. Forgot the headlights. Notch 6. Got a unit grain train here, a shuttle, grain shuttle. You can see a Gevo peeking its head out back there with the lighter colored orange. You can now predominantly hear the blowers. Number 7. This is a train Victorville to Barstow, so westbound or eastbound. And notch 8. That just sounds way, way better, doesn't it? Alright, so the 2 mods for this, of course, are the lovely sound mods and the PTC headlight and number range mod, which of course will both be linked below. So let's scooch on to the next deal. Right, so here we have another twofer. This is going to require the Mainz Koblenz route, or frick, what was it called? Something Lincoln Strecke. Anyway, the one that comes with the 103 is what this mod is here. The first part of it is by a person named Roman72 or Roman, which is a light mod for the DBB was DBBR or DB or BR. Anyway, the 103. It's a headlight mod for that. Basically, brighter and more appropriate lights. I darkened the scene here, as you can tell. This twilight evening, currently in Mainz HBF. They're just a lot more realistic and natural looking. They're brighter. They just look a whole heck of a lot better. The second part is for these lovely, lovely looking coaches here. So these are the DB Interregio coaches by Hannah Hermine, and they are the blue coaches. But to use this within the timetable, you're going to need the IR coach / destination mod, which is by modder Task Plays, which has, of course, IR formations for Mainz to Koblenz, and the destination info. So the neat thing about this is it adds just a pop of color instead of the kind of burgundy and pink on the coaches. Let's see if there's some sitting around somewhere. Oh, those are the other ones. Those are green ones. Where are the regular ones at? Yeah, we don't have any. That's cool, though. So to be able to use this, you actually have to choose an IR service. So I'm going to bring up the timetable here. As you can see, it's IR 2214 Karlsruhe to Nordic. So you're going to have to use an IR. If you pick one of the other ones, it's not going to be the Interregio Blue because it's not IR. So to be able to use this, and that's what's neat. That's what's really cool about mods like this. So a lot of the older Train Sim World mods, when you threw something in, it was kind of all for one and a one for all deal where everything looked the same. With this, there most definitely is not that. You will still see the red and pink coaches, or whatever they were actually called. So this is a neat mod. It adds a pop of color to this route, which is a pretty nice route, all things considered, and it adds these better looking information boards here. So initially, it just had the starting point and the destination for the services. Very bare ass and unrealistic. This adds every stopping point between your to and fro on the route, which is just a neat little addition just to make it a bit more prototypical, something that Dovetail missed out on when they could have added it. But good looking coaches here. Just adds a splash of color instead of the red, and of course you've got the signs, and it adds them to the timetable as well, and it just adds a bit more variety. Let's head to the next. All right, now this one is, of course, for the Acela. Now, while in its default state, largely a lot of the North American stuff for Train Sim World, passenger-wise, has been okay. The stock, all things considered. Looking at everything as a whole, as far as North American stock, I wish the same could be said about the North American freight stuff, but it's not. So this thing was pretty damn nice as is. It's a joy to operate. It looks incredible. It sounds okay. A lot of people, of course, will argue about the sounds, which I will argue back. Could be a little better, less tinny and thin, and just a little bit more depth. But everything else was really great about this, except the biggest thing that I wasn't a fan of was the horn. It just didn't set like, it didn't have a proper kind of edit or loop or whatever when it was added to the locomotive. It was just like somebody grabbed a sound off YouTube and then just added it to the game without any kind of editing or just making it sound nice, sound engineering, if you will. So this is simply the Acela horn mod, and this is by modder Corniest Cobb. Awesome name, by the way. Really dig it. And it's just a better horn. I feel like it's a better horn, so we'll go ahead and listen to it. Exterior. We'll go some distance away. So it sounds like it's looped fairly well. Got some nice distance. We'll of course do interior. I think the interior is where this sound really shines. That sounds really nice. We'll go ahead and crack a window. It's real quick on the playback, so that was one of the issues with the default horn. In my opinion, it would kind of start a weird loop where if you wanted to quickly tap or quickly give a pull to the horn, you couldn't do it. It would kind of stick in a loop, and you'd have to wait till it was done, and it would just get all fuddled and muddled up, and it was just a pain in the ass. So, to me, that is just a nicer sounding horn. Again, by Corneous Cobb. And you will, of course, need the Acela. All right, and something that I've been having probably way too much fun than I should as of late in Train Sim World is the Needle Barn, or Tall Noodle Barn, as I like to call it. This is the DBBR628 Mini Enhancement Pack by a collab from Fubian, Magus, and Raph. And not only do you get a new horn, listen to how nice that sumbitch is. Occlusion. That's a nice, a lot more appropriate sounding horn. Definitely more realistic. And that, of course, is the remix. The other thing that was added to this is the in-cab ambient occlusion. So what that is think of it like depth. So for whatever reason, a lot of stuff in Train Sim World seems to have this as of late. For whatever reason, the cab didn't have any ambient occlusion. So think of it like some shading around little parts like this, which you can actually see is now there. So wherever there is a break in like the 3D model, it just adds a little shading, a little depth, a little darkness where necessary. You can see it along this crease here as well, and just overall the cab and the console and the dash here in general just looks a lot nicer. It's not as flat. And it just looks more 3D. Think of it like that. So the other thing as well are the running sounds. So let me go ahead and get these folks on board, and we'll skip to the running sounds. Alright, so I actually just looked this mod up to double check, and it has been updated literally within minutes of me starting this video. For the mere fact that I am lazy and I don't want to redo it, it does add some new things. So we'll look at what it adds. So this is the enhancement pack. When I got my hands on it and started the video, it's got the new horn, replacement of running sounds, the new cab AO. 1.1 adds new light textures, so the headlights look better overall, look more natural, and fixed the brake sound so you don't get that kind of overlapping continuous release. And so these two mods were of their own accord, and I guess they just added them all to this as a comprehensive mod, which is nice. It's nice to see when people do that within a mod. And of course, the people that were responsible for those things were added as well. So the mod is technically Beskat, Fubian, Maggots, Raph, and Redstonia. But as of this look, it's only the new AO, the running sounds, and the new horns. So that being said, let's go. Let's listen to this son of a biscuit. This is purely testing purposes. CFM PCB is off. We're just going to listen to it, which may require some ass hattery in the operation department. There's a second notch. Third notch. That sounds good. Numero cuatro. Five. Six. Seven. And kill it. And full brake. All right, not a bad little pack. Like I said, it will be different, you know, because I got this mod before they updated it today. It's just a matter of minutes or hours or whatever the hell. And the very last thing we're going to look at is the all-encompassing God mode. So this God mode is something where you can change a lot of stuff on the fly without having to exit the game or the timetable or whatever the hell and change. It is now at God Mode 2.1, and this is a mod by Fubian. You can spawn trains, change the environment, weather settings. You get the crazy zoom, and basically Fubian has been updating this the moment a new route comes out, which is very epic, because sometimes I won't even mess with it if a new route comes out until it has been added to this mod. A lot of the time. So I kind of looked at this before. Not a whole lot has changed. Some things have changed, but a lot of it is beyond my depth and reasoning, because there's just a lot you can do with it. So I'll just go over some of the things you can do here. So you basically gonna go up to the top. Just bring your mouse cursor to the top left, and you'll see the little drop down there. You can look at the runtime timetabling. What this will do is spawn a train. So, it's kind of weird how this works, and someone may correct me, and please, if you know, that's totally fine, because this is just the way I've been doing it. So, you're going to want to get out on foot, and get away from the train that you loaded in on, unless you don't care about it, whatever. And whichever direction you're facing, when you spawn a train, that's the direction the train will spawn. So, let's try to find a piece of track here that shouldn't really get in the way too much. We'll go this little siding here. How long? Yeah, we don't have a lot of room. So, let's run to the very front here. Just a moment. So, basically what this train spawning is it'll spawn in essentially whatever the hell you have. One of the things that was added to it that you can spawn in that's kind of funny is the little toy soldier Jeep, which came with the little Christmas pack, which I don't have nor intend to buy. So we'll go ahead and try and load in a train here. So you're going to want to face the direction, you know, as much as I understand it here, that you want the train to be facing. So runtime timetabling. And let's say we want to spawn, oh gosh. We'll do a GP38. So here we go. CSX GP38. Actually, no. Do we have to? Yeah, we'll do an SD40. Why the hell not? Let's see. Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? Where's the? I don't see. You got to know what they're actually called as well. So you're just gonna have to mess around with it. But I'm just gonna spawn in the Clinchfield Railroad SD40. So you literally just click it, and you can hear that sumbitch. It's behind us. Prepare for jump scare. Ah! And so what's weird is I keep having this issue where once I spawn something like this, I'm stuck to it. I am literally stuck right now. So to get out of this situation, and again, if you know any other way, please let me know in the comments below, as well as others that may be wondering. I just simply hit Control 0, and it'll drop you back into the train that we were sitting, which is, of course, the BR628. And so, as you can see, for whatever reason, there is now a Clinchfield SD40 in Greater Frankfurt. Tis a bit stupid, I agree. So another thing you can do is change the weather on the fly, which is very nice. If you want to get that perfect kind of cozy look for a ride down the line, whatever you're doing, if you want something spooky, morning, weathery, whatever, you got it all at your fingertips here. So cloudiness, of course, is a big one. I don't like the way the game looks when it's uber cloudy and overcast. I never have. I feel like it just darkens everything, and I feel like it shouldn't do that. Like, some of the things on the ground should remain lit, obviously not with sunlight, but just everything gets dark, and I'm not a fan of it. I usually keep it about mid to straight clear. So you can do that, which is cool. You can mess with the precipitation, so you can make it rain with clear skies. It will freeze up your PC. This is very odd. It's raining and it's absolutely clear. So let's add some clouds. So when you screw around with the rain like this, you're gonna want to do it slowly, because it will bog the shite out of the game or your PC. So just do it slowly. You can go from light rain to medium to just full on nor'easter. And you got the sounds and everything. And then you've got your wetness bar, so if you want wet platforms, ramps in the ground. I personally feel like the ground looks like absolute dog shit when it's wet. I'm not crazy about the ground textures in the game, period. It's always got this plasticky look to me. And when it's wet, in my eyes, it just looks way worse, so I try and keep that down. And then, of course, when you want to get rid of the weather, the rain, slowly lower it back down. You want snow? Cool, we'll do snow. There's your snow. You can have it cover the ties or the sleepers all the way up to the rails. Can add piled snow. Sometimes routes don't have piled snow, which is just crap. So loud! God, I hate that thing. I mean, I like it, but I hate it's so freaking loud. I think somebody made a mod for that. Okay. So yeah, you can do that. You can do the wind strength as well, but piled snow, I think, just adds it to some building assets, platforms, things like that. You got your wind. And then, of course, you can do the... Let's get rid of the snow here first. You can do your autumn tree. And you can do it just little by little. So if you only want a tiny bit of autumn, you can see that tree to the right there. Just kind of yellowing. That's halfway. That's full autumn right there. Full autismo. And then, of course, winter tree. So you slide that. That's basically off or on. Bam! Tree's dead. No more leaves. So just, you can spice it up on the fly and do what you want, which is nice, instead of loading in at the whim of whatever the timetable or scenario wants you to have it at. One of the other cool things is the fog. So you got to be careful with the fog here. You're going to see your fog density down here. If you hit 0.1, behold. Straight up fog. Like you could swim in this. It's so damn thick. So you're going to want to play with those numbers as well. Let's see, get that out of there. Damn it, I literally just did that twice in a row like a dingus. Alright, so you're going to want to add some zeros in there. So let's add 2, or just 1 0 here. A lot lighter, there you go. That's a bit more realistic. Spring morning. 2 zeros and a 1. There's some on the distance, but it's not a foreground. Another you can see in the distance, it kind of lessens a bit as well. And then you should be able to just reset it. So I'm going to delete that 0.0, hit enter, and it should leave. Now what's weird is sometimes it will not. Even if you hit reset weather variables, it still seems like it's still Still seems like there's still a bit of fog in the distance there. Sometimes that will happen. So, you know, I'm not totally sure how you mess with that. That's it as far as the environment settings. You can, of course, change the time of day as well. So we'll make it 2 a.m. There you go. It's 2 a.m. It's dark AF. Now, the thing about this, though, is you got to be careful because it ties into the timetable. So if you want to change the time, I would recommend you do that in the menu before you start a service, because it could put you at an endless light that say your service starts at noon, you know, within the game's timetable, and you set it to 6. Guess what? Your ass is going to be waiting 6 hours for that signal to change. Basically like being a real North American railroader, sitting at a signal for hours and hours and hours. So you can do that as well. We'll go ahead and change it back. We'll just do dead ass noon. It'll take a minute to catch up there. Something else you can do is mess with the skylight intensity. So this is actually a slider. You can go left and right. You hold it down with your left cursor. You can drag it down. And what that does is change the brightness on the textures on the ground, or assets mainly. So it's basically black and white right there. It looks kind of weird. There's no color on the multiple unit back there at all, and then that's full on. There are some other things here as well. Modder's log, you can add notes and see what you did. There's console commands. These I have not even totally messed with. You can do all kinds of stuff. Okay, all right. I don't want to hear that. I do not want to hear that. So you can do all kinds of stuff. I would just say cautiously play around with this. That's what I've done. You could change your, you know, how fast you move. Remove the train from the track, like that SD40 we just put down. Relinquish your service. There's these here where you can change some of the camera settings. There's so much stuff you can do with this. I honestly have not even scratched the surface, so I don't even know what to tell you as far as a lot of this stuff. You know, you can do whatever the hell that is, so on and so forth. But I mainly use it for time of day and weather, and just trying to tweak the light as much as I can. But that's it, guys. Just a few mods for the spring of 2023. I will link them all down below. As usual, props to everybody that made these mods, just making this game a little bit nicer. You know, a lot more in a state that it should have released as is. But it's kind of funny, even though there are mods for this route, Niedertauban, because this is a damn good route. But it just, you know, it just makes it more gooder, which is always gooder. So yeah, I'll link everything down below if you want to go and check them out. Again, it's PC only. And that's it, guys. Hope you found it somewhat informative and helpful. If you have any questions, comments, or anything like that, let me know down below. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching, guys.